Good morning, park managers, and welcome back to Archipelago Park. Today we are making an enclosure for a family of Allosauruses, and today the inspiration came from Rob Earth's Community Park, as it made me a lovely Allosaurus enclosure, and it looked absolutely incredible. It was sort of hexagon shaped, and it had like loads of mods, which really made it like add a lot of life and story to it. So I thought I'd try and make something similar in my park. Obviously, I don't use any mods at this moment in time, so it's a case of I'm going to try and remake it as best as I can and use inspiration from that and some from my old builds that I've made in the past, and sort of throw the lot all together into one build. So you can see the way I make my hexagons is I basically do a giant plus sign out of enclosures, and that lets me sort of line everything up perfectly using the snap ability of the fences, and it just makes it super easy. And then I sort of decorated it by making it like a double fencing, as it looks like there's obviously Allosaurus is quite aggressive in this game. You see it smash its way out of the hatchery in the hatchery animation, so it does suggest it's a pretty angry dinosaur, so we want it to be secure and safe for our guests to see. Like in that park build from Rob Earth, I wanted like the mountain in the middle. I wanted to raise and sort of slope down to the walls. I was going to make a dip, but then in this enclosure, I'm not making it absolutely huge. I feel like it might have taken a fair bit out of the enclosure, so I sort of left it level with the viewing galleries and just had the mountain in the middle. I want to decorate it to be like a redwood forest in the end in the middle, and I thought about just decorating that safety barrier in between with a few trees, because it does look cool and it kind of reminds me of the lagoon attachments that you can do, like the decorations and that sort of thing, and add that kind of vibe. And we do like a small staff area. We put a safety bunker at the back. It's double gated, has security cameras and a floodlight to make sure they can see everything at the entrance, and it just adds that more secure feel, like they're taking it serious, that this is a dangerous creature in the park. And we add the flashbang mortars in there, because you can imagine if the Allosauruses were fighting and you didn't want them to get injured, or you have a serious situation where somehow a member of staff has got stuck in there with them, and you'd want to be able to control the situation. So a mortar flashbang seems about right for dealing with the aggressiveness of the Allosaurus. Maybe not animal friendly, but hey ho, you got to think about safety of the park. These are dangerous creatures after all. I just had a load of like normal tropical trees around the back just to like fill it out when I'm doing shots. But I think the main plan is that back area is to do a staff only section, probably have an off-show hybrid that they're building up like they did in Jurassic World, and have it kind of like that, because as much as I like hybrids, I don't really add them to my park all that much. Not on main site of view. I always have it as like a off-show creature, like they're working on it, rather than being a fully fledged you can go and see it creature. So yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking of on this island a little bit on. So I thought about decorating the outside of the path just a little bit more than I usually do, because usually I make the build and then I go around decorating. But I thought in this case I just want to add a few decorations, benches, lights, and I can always neaten it up a little bit later. It just sort of gives me a rough idea how I want the parks to be set up. I do like having bins and benches just knocking around. It just sort of reminds me of my old JPOG days and the way that was placed and things like that. But yeah, I was quite happy with this enclosure with the redwood forest look. I didn't make it so it was like heavily redwood forest. I quite like in Jurassic World Evolution 1 when you were putting the red trees down, they were like clustered in groups of 3, which I really did like the look of. So that's the kind of vibe I was going for in this enclosure. I didn't want it too dense. Obviously the vegetation brush I used, which is like that, they look like basically fern trees and things like this, so it kind of adds that redwood feel, and that has always like already made it dense enough, as it were. So the redwood trees were just there just to break things up a wee bit, and also just an added nice effect to it. Same the rocks just here and there, and it looks nice in some of the shots when you're panning across and you just have a glimpse bits of the rock, like this one right here. This is probably one of my favourite shots, even though it's only a short one. But I think it looks great. I used the younger Allosaurus and then the Malta Allosauruses as parents. So yeah, it's quite a nice look. Anyways, I hope this has given you some inspiration for your build, and thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.